Okay, so today we're going to work on the cottages, the walls, and their stone, and the fence if we have time. The cottage is just kind of old stone, different colors and texture. There's nothing specific there except for a couple that we're going to try to put a hint of. But the one in the back, nothing there, just kind of very, nothing specific in terms of texture. I found these and I was looking at the walls, the way they're done in this with this artist. Very interesting. This one here too. You can see the way that he's using a hint to show stone. All right, so with us, what we're going to be using is burnt umber, which we have already, but we're going to mix it. And this is burnt umber, yellow ochre, titanium buff, and ivory black. So let's put these back. And I want to see as well what we have there. Okay. All right, let's take now burnt umber. So by the way, the light, the way we're going to treat this, the light is coming from the left. So these walls right here, here, in here are lighter than these over here. So I'm going to take burnt umber. Let's put a bit of yellow ochre in it. And let's highlight slowly or create that shape of hint of stone shape. This is a small, flat or bright brush. It's a bright brush actually. I'm going to take a mixing burnt umber, yellow ochre, and titanium buff. I don't need to go too dark at this point, but slowly, slowly, I'm going to be building up some texture in there. So don't go too light. Start with a medium tone. And I'm going to go across. See, it's nothing is specific here right now. Nothing is, I'm just trying to see where the windows are and then work around the windows. But I am not using a long brush stroke. I'm using small ones, overlapping them because I want that texture. And you'll see in a minute because we're going to overlap some more. So the windows are. And there's a bit of in the reference greenery on this wall too. So whatever I'm doing, whatever I do in terms of eventually in terms of hint of stone will have to go with the same direction of the roof. So if the roof is going at an angle, you want your stones to be going in the same direction, not across straight. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. This is going to dry darker. So now I'm thinking about texture and light at the same time, how light I want this to be. But now, for now, I'm just concentrating on texture. There's a big tree in here, so I don't need to go over too much. All right. Now, if I want this to be darker, I have to keep in mind that there is a bit of a darker value in here. So I'm going to take a little bit of black and put it in here with brown. Just to change the value a bit. And I will be putting a little bit more of stone suggestion in a minute. All right, let's continue a bit to the other side. I'm going to take to this one here. I'm going to take a little bit more of the titanium buff. Let's take a bit of black there. Okay. I don't want, it is lighter, but I don't want it to be too light because I want to use some of the light color for putting stone in there. Chimney has the chimneys have a different color, eh? Different color. See this one here. I'm not concerned about the the texture because I'm going to be putting it's closer to us, so I can see the stone. This one here, I can't see the stone, so I need texture. This continues here. I still don't want too much of a flat color in here. A bit of texture in here. And then I'm going to be putting the stone over it. Okay. I know there's a tree in here, but I'd like to put the tree over the house. So instead of, I'll push it in. I will push the walls in and then put the tree over. This house right there doesn't have any specific, I don't really even have to put it in there. I could put greens and probably that's what I'll do. I'll put some greenery. Okay. Okay. So it's good. Okay, before I start highlighting, I'm going to give you some time to do this and then we'll highlight. Okay, I'm recording right now and we are going to I am using a round brush at this point and I am mixing titanium buff with a bit of black and a touch of the yellow ochre. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to get closer to the rooftop. I'm going to leave some room because the rooftop is going to cast a shadow over the wall. So I'm going to start from here. And I'm following the rooftop movement line. Take a bit of change your color a bit so it doesn't look like it's all the same. And right here we don't really have, again, specific texture, but it's not flat. It has a texture, but it's a very soft texture because it's not close to us. From time to time, I add a different color and I go in just to make it more interesting. Oh, okay, well, it's okay. There's greenery in there. In here too. Maybe some yellow ochre. See, when I find that I'm getting a flat brush stroke, but I go in with a different color to get that texture back. Different color, any meaning any color you have there. I like the hint of black in there, in the stone. So if I use too much of a light color and I find that I'm getting flat, no problem. I'll just go in, add a bit of black to or brown or any color I have there, and go over it. Go over that flat surface and I'll create that texture again. Like now, right here, I'm going to take a little bit of black and just go in, dab across, you create texture. Same, if I go too dark and I want some texture, I could get some lighter color, like titanium buff, go over and show some texture in there. So I use my values, darker, lighter. So in this area here, it's a softer texture than than what we're going to be doing in here. It's not only on the side, it's a sideways, it's a wall. It's even further away from this one. So not really a lot of room for strong pattern or texture in here. Okay. It looks a bit white on the screen. I don't know why. It's lighter than what's in here. It's not that light. I'm trying to okay, that's fine. It will dry darker anyway. Okay. Now the other side of that cottage, actually, you know what? Since I'm here, I'm just going to do the one on the side closer. Change the color a bit to maybe mix a bit of yellow ochre in here. Some black. Let's take a bit of yellow ochre, add it here. And actually yellow ochre and black will give me a nice green, muted green. There are two columns. On this side of the fence. There's a fence in here. And right behind it is the wall of the cottage. I will enhance the wall, the column, in a minute. So try to make it look a bit weathered. I think I will need a bit of burnt sienna in here. I'm just waiting to get to that color, and then I'll add it on the fence. Okay. There's greenery in here. That's why I'm not working on it too much right there. There's a door. And since we're doing this, I'm just going to take a bit of brown, burnt umber, a little bit of black, just to make it grayer. Titanium buff. And just kind of create the path. There's a little kind of a walkway from the door. I will adjust the shape of this walkway with the green around. There's greens. There's a lot of green in there. Okay. I'm going to stop for a minute. I'll pause and then we'll come back. Right. So now for this wall and this wall right there, we're going to add a bit of more movement or texture, detail. So I'm going to take, at the same time, I want to keep the value dark. So I'm going to take, first thing I'm going to do is take titanium buff. Let's put in my titanium buff maybe some burnt umber, a little bit of black. And let's create a hint shape of different stone. Okay. Maybe take a little bit more of the dark black and brown. And just go over. Oh, this is really dark. You can't see it, but that's okay. You know why? Because I'm going to be putting here, I'm going to put a bit of titanium buff. Because what we're going to do, we are going to put a bit of detail in between for the stone. And the stone in here is really not, it's like irregular kind of shape. You know, everything on its own doesn't look great at first, but once you start adding the other elements like the trees, greens, it will look much better. This is the most work in here, more than this, because on that one, on the other one, there's green mostly, but on this one, it's only stone. It's okay, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. It's a layering of different textures, colors. Adding a little bit of yellow ochre. Let's go a little bit darker here. Yellow ochre and black. And you'll see in a minute. I'm just going to go in with a bit of line in between. All right, this is enough texture. You can do the same with the wall right next to it. Create a bit of texture or stone there. Okay. Now that I have this, I can, at this point, take titanium buff, mix it with any dark color you have in there, any combination of dark color. And I'm going to do a bit of suggestion. Of stone. Again, let's do this. Try to see if we can get, I think this is a bit too thick. Let's get a thinner one. I don't want to put everything I see. Oh, geez. I don't want to put everything I see. It's too much. I'm going to hint. The color I have is actually paint. It's like a glaze. I'm going to fire all of my brushes. They're not performing well. Another way of doing this is starting with a light wall and leaving some white light color between the stone. But this way, I think I can choose which ones and how much I want to put detail. How much detail I want to put in between or on the wall. Especially because these are not even. They're random. Now same. This is kind of, you know, I did put first a layer of nothing, and now I'm putting layers of more defined stone. So this is black with a bit of burnt umber. And I'm just going to go in and just create some texture in here. Trying to get the same, you know, a feel of what I'm seeing. Not exactly the same. I'm putting them randomly, not trying to follow exactly what I'm seeing. I follow the reference general, not stone by stone. So if I see dark in here, I put dark. If I see light here, I put light. But I'm not following the stones the way they are. Okay, enough. That's enough. I'm going to do the same for the wall right next to it. Just give it a bit of texture. All right, and let's leave it alone. This is like a wall on the side. It's not really, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a dark glaze, black and brown. And I'm going to do the same over here. So I'm going to go a little bit darker, maybe just black at this point, and then I'll fix it. All right, now let's do this wall, that one. Almost the same colors I have in here, but lighter. And I'm just going to go across and give it a hint of highlighted texture. Too much. And I'm going to bring in a little bit of yellow ochre. Ooh, there's a window. All right, no problem. We'll put the window. All right. Okay, let's get it down here. Change color. No more yellow ochre. Maybe a bit of the titanium buff, black, and maybe if there's burnt umber in it, there is. Okay, burnt umber in here. There's green, you know, I'm going to be adding green in this area. The chimney is a different color. So we will be using burnt sienna for the chimney. Oh, let's take a bit of that black. This black is really nice in here. So when I grab black, there's not only black, there is some color on my brush. Titanium buff with some brown, or titanium buff and yellow ochre. All right. A little bit more titanium buff. Okay, good. Enough texture, but not too overwhelming. So all I'm doing is I'm layering different values on top of each other and colors to create texture. That is a soft texture. So in this area here, it's flat. So I'm going to give it a little bit of texture. So I used, at this point, titanium buff. I brought in titanium buff, more of it in this area here where I have titanium buff, yellow ochre, maybe a bit of black, but more of the titanium buff. And then I'm gonna go in and just give it some texture. It will look much better once we add the greens and the window. I'm gonna add the window right now. So I'm gonna take For the window, let's take yellow ochre, brown, titanium buff, this is the frame, I'm going to need white maybe, but I'd rather not use white on bricks like this. So, titanium buff. And I'm going to ignore most of the detail in there. Wow, it's windy outside. Very windy.
Good job by not doing a plein air class today.
I'm going to open this window a bit. It's too small. Yeah, that's better. Maybe without the white all around it, or the light color all around. That's enough. And you don't want this window to be too big too. I mean, it doesn't look good if it's too big. Let's highlight this, because of course acrylic dries darker.
Okay, Rael, I've got to leave and I'll see you tomorrow, eh?
Okay, John, see you tomorrow. Bye. Trying to get this window to look narrow and long. I forgot to ask John to show us what what he's done. I'd like to see how he's doing this.
Next week. Oh, I mean, the week after when you're back.
A week after.
Yeah, well, we can see it.
Okay. I think I know what's the problem with this window. This part should be narrower. And here too. Yep, that's better. The frame is too wide. So not highlight, put a lighter kind of stones around the frame so it doesn't look too defined. Okay. All right. So since we're doing this is enough because we're going to be putting some greens in there later on. So at this point, I'm going to come here and work on this. There's a layer of brown and black in here. And I'm just going to take some brown, titanium buff, a little bit of black. Margaret, what's the next? Where is the flower? I thought.
Oh, the Fleur de Ville thing. It's in Yorkville area along Bloor and a lot of the buildings between Young and
Right.
Avenue Road, I guess.
And is it next week?
No, it's this week. It's starting now. I think it's next week. This weekend. It's coming up.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, thank you for the email. I saw it, but I'm thinking, oh, we're going there on Sunday actually. Maybe we can.
Yeah, it's very pretty if you go, and it doesn't run for too long, I guess, because the flowers start to wilt.
Right. Yes. Yes.
You have it for a few days. A lot of it's they changed it over the last couple of years. A lot of it's kind of been inside some of these buildings. I think they must maybe, they're responsible for some of those flower arrangements that are in their building. I don't know how it works. Because it used to be a lot more just on the street.
Are you going to go?
Yes, I'm supposed to be going on Saturday.
Oh, nice. Do you take the train?
No, my friend lives in Hyde Park area, so I'm going to drive to Hyde Park area.
Perfect.
And take the subway from there.
Perfect.
Be a lot of driving, but it's okay. Takes close to an hour to get there now. So busy.
To Hyde Park? 2 hours?
Yeah, 45 minutes or so. Yeah, to an hour. It depends on,
Wow. I have a student that comes from Hyde Park area. Yeah. I should ask him. How long is it taking?
Yeah, what route does he take?
He comes at night.
Oh, at night. Oh, okay.
Okay, so the stones in here are smaller and the ones here are bigger. So now before I start highlighting a little bit more, what I'm going to do is take some black and make sure that it's kind of runny or glaze, more like glaze. And it's never just 100% black. There's always some color with it too, whatever I have in there. And I'm going to come here, just enhance some of this black or dark in between the stones. So usually what I do is a general kind of brushstroke, suggestion of stones, and then I would go in, enhance, give it a bit of more detail. And it doesn't matter at this point what I am getting, because I'm going to go back again and put some highlights. Again, a little bit of titanium buff, brown. I don't know why you're seeing it that light. It's more brown in here. Okay, I'm adding a little bit more brown in here. What's the next musical going to be?
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
Yeah, Tina Turner. Well, not her, but
Oh yeah.
a review.
I'm glad it's not her.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's good. Okay, good. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So they wait for one musical to finish and then they put another one, right? Is that how it goes?
Basically, everything usually runs for about 6 weeks, kind of, and then they change it up. Sometimes, depending how many theaters they're using. Like sometimes, because they've got 3 or 4 theaters that they can use for the shows.
Oh, good.
That's why that one, the 6 is still running, right? Because it's they captured at the theater it originally was at.
Is there a lot of people in the afternoon? In the afternoon, are there a lot of people?
Yeah.
In the theater?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, they call it a seniors matinee on a Wednesday. So.
Ah, wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
It's good.
Toronto has a lot of a lot to do.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
lots of
if you want, yeah.
And there's lots of smaller independent theaters too that you can go to. They don't go too far away. So I think we're gonna get tickets this year for the opera. My friend asked me if I want to go to the opera for next season, so I said okay, but we'll see.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm not really an opera fan, but it's always really entertaining. So. My kids have been going to those candlelight services in the churches. Well, not service, but candlelight concerts. Oh, yeah. I really like them.
I know when I went. I saw them on Instagram, the candlelight one.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I like them. Are these your local churches? Well, mostly they're all over, but a lot of downtown. I see they have them in Hamilton, and they'll be like I noticed one the other day, the music from Adele, or it might be the music from Mozart, or it might be, from Star Wars, and it'll be like, what kind of neat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds kind of fun, but it's usually downtown and at night, and I'm like, oh.
I know.
Very apathetic about stuff like that. No. It's awful.
We're not used to this anymore, like used to going out at night.
No. Now I feel guilty because it's so nice and bright in the evening that I'm sitting inside watching TV and not doing something.
All right. That's enough. That's good. Right, whatever I have left over of the colors here, I'm going to take brown. That's burnt umber, a little bit of yellow ochre, titanium buff, and take some black to tone it down. I know they say black muddies your colors. I don't agree. It depends on how you're using it. It can muddy your colors, but sometimes it's a great addition. Using black and yellow ochre or any yellow, you'll get a very nice earthy green. All right, so I'm gonna take this and just put a first layer. Of the street here, or the path, or okay, good. All right. Let's get a little bit of black in here. Well, I'm going to be putting some green. So even if I put black right now, it doesn't matter because eventually I'm putting green over it. And it's only in here. I don't want, I need some kind of anchoring for the bottom of the wall. All right, that's good. Okay. It's good. All right, let's stop with this. And what we'll do is the week after, not next week, the week after, we'll put the greens and then we will adjust anything that needs to be adjusted with the walls. But next week, I'm sorry, the week after, we need to put the greens on the house, on the walls. All right, let's do the windows since we have the colors. Let's get some titanium buff going here. Very simple. Titanium buff, titanium buff and yellow ochre. And I'm just gonna put thin line of frame, suggestion of a frame. Again for that one. Good. Use using the brown that I have on burnt umber that I have on the canvas from the underpainting helps, so I don't really have to do anything for the window panes. It's good. All right. Right. Let's do this. Okay. Again, this one. Frame. Should be on an angle, a bit of an angle. Soften the darks if you have too much dark in there by glazing them with the same color. Let's fix this one here a bit. Now that it's dry. Once we put the trees, you're not going to see too much of the windows. Windows are just a suggestion in there. They're not the focal point. All right, let it dry. And if the window frame is too strong, then I would just glaze it down, tone it with some brown, like this. Some burnt umber. Just go over it with a bit of burnt umber, and that will just tone it down and push it back. It's there, especially because it's a different color than the wall. There, that's better. There, that's much better. It has a bit of kind of a warm color in there. And that's it. Anything else that there's a window here. I don't think I'm going to put it. I'm just going to leave it just the way it is. And there's a door in there. So, okay, we can put the door. We can put it's a blue door, I think, or green door. But for now, we can take brown and black. And then we can add the green after if we want. I think a green door would look nice. It's a narrow, long door. And the green is going to be here, all around it. So I'm not really concerned about it right now. It's good. It's fine the way it is. And I can put some green when I'm over it, when I'm doing the greenery around. All right. Okay, so this is where we're at. At this point, we are going to, the week after, not next week, the week after, we'll start putting some greens, and I will adjust the color of the houses and the cottages, both of them, these two. I'll adjust the colors a bit depending on the rest by the time I put the roof and the greens and the highlights. So might need to adjust some things, and I might leave it just the way it is. All right.